everybody. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Ghosts. And today we actually reviewed a very new to us channel. In fact, their very new channel. They've only got about, I don't know how long they've been out, but they've only got about 2,000 subscribers. Sorry, I'm still coughing a little bit from my COVID bout. But my cousin, who lives in Ontario, is aware of this group. I think she knows some of them or knows somebody who knows them. I don't know. Anyway, she told me to check it out and we did. So we just finished watching. The group is called, or the channel is called Walking Among Us. And the episode that we watched is called The Restless Spirits Haunting Wade Manor. Now, this is in Woodstock, Ontario, I'm believing. And the owner of the house, his name is Dustin Wade, and has created this almost like a museum. He lives in it. Oh my God. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. But there's 3 people in this paranormal group: Bearded Zombie, Hauntingly Krista, and Ellie. So those are the 3 people in the credits. They had credits. And they were actually, the opening I thought was kind of cool. Just the way that whatever they did. I mean, it was kind of a cool opening. I liked it. So you start out with them, the 2 of them, Bearded Zombie, and his name is Wraith, and Krista. And they're sitting side by side. These 2 are, at first I wasn't sure what to make out of them, but by the end I just freaking love them. I think they're hilarious. Anyway. Yeah. They start off saying, with an announcement, that their team member Kelly is taking a step back from investigating for a little while. Something going on in her personal life. She's going to help out with social media stuff and whatever, but just not doing the investigations. I totally appreciate that. Sometimes life gets in the way. Yeah. I mean, we know that just trying to do podcasts. Sometimes life gets in the way. And if it's not your full-time job, well, sometimes you gotta figure things out. So then they start talking about the site, which they're going to go to. And I've never heard of this place before. I think I don't know how old it is or how long it's been set up as a museum, but It sounds like that's fairly new because they're going to be the first team to ever investigate it. Now, it sounds like he's had people go in for tours before, but not investigation. Is that what the feeling that you got to?
He's $20 a head. He charges.
Oh, okay, I missed that, but okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
for now, I think it's going to go up. But anyway, for now, it probably helped him pay the bills too. You know, like I said, he lives in this house, so that's interesting. So they're talking about it, and then the F-bombs start dropping.
Oh, he's got a potty mouth.
He has a potty mouth. So if that doesn't bother you, then this is not a bad channel to watch. If you are offended and a little bit of a snowflake when it comes to language, don't watch this because you're not going to enjoy it. No. It is very rough around the edges that way. One of the things he was talking about is he saw on I don't know if it was social media or something, that people want to go in there and open up their divot boxes or whatever and do stuff right in there. And he said, no, you have to learn to respect the history, respect the location, and respect the spirits that live there. Wow. I like hearing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He says he can't emphasize enough how dangerous those things can be when you get in there and you mess up things just because you want to do something.
And especially when there's ghosts and stuff there already, you know. Mm-hmm. You introduce something new and...
Yeah. Because it's a museum, there's all kinds of haunted objects, I guess, for lack of a better term. I mean, it's got a lot of antiques and things in there, but it sounds like there's a lot of haunted objects too. And you just don't know what you're messing with. So he says He doesn't believe in going in and poking the bear. In fact, he said that several times. Now, Wade Manor is an interactive museum, the owner says. I guess you get to interact with stuff. I'm not sure how that works. Sounds to me like it's a guided tour. I mean, even for this investigation, the owner was there through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't detract from it, which I thought was good. I mean, in some times, you know, he was there kind of in the forefront. Most of the time, he was just kind of in the back and you didn't really see him unless they talked to him, which is good. But for me, if I'm doing an investigation, I don't really need the owner there. But I understand it's his house. So the tours he gives, I think, are guided tours where he's there and whatever interaction he wants to do, he does. I don't know. Anyway, he, as they first walk through the door and they're standing in the foyer, Wraith has all these squirrel moments where he says he's looking around and there's so much stuff and, oh, I can't concentrate because, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look at that. That was funny because, I mean, he even acknowledged that he's so distracted. And all I could think of is squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Yeah.
But he gave a really good history of the land and the house and, you know, where it was. And he figures it's documented at least about 120 years old, more likely 144, 145-year-old house. So, I mean, who knows what's there? And then, of course, he's got all the haunted stuff. So then he talks about the paranormal history, and this made me think of you. He says in the first week, well, a bunch of stuff happened, but within the first few days of being there, he went upstairs to the second floor, the third floor, to do something. And he opened the door and immediately he felt like every hair on his body stood on end, like through me, he said.
Yeah.
Not sound familiar?
Yeah.
And he says that's happened a few times, and it does happen a few times. And absolutely, something walked through you. That's exactly how it feels, right?
Yeah, it does.
I never had that happen to me, but
yeah,
I know he has.
It happens more than I like.
Apparently to him too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also heard some female voices. I liked the owner's attitude and everything. He's very respectful to his spirits. He says that, you know, they coexist and they're protective of him. You know, now that they realize he's not going to tear the house down and stuff.
Yeah.
He also said that he believes the house has residual haunting as well as this active stuff going on, which could make a whole interesting investigation if he chose to do in a different manner than what we're about to talk about. Yeah. And does not want any provocation going on. He does not want his ghost bothered. So that's good.
Yeah.
Again, poke the bear.
Yeah.
Turn off the camera basically while they have a tour, and we see sort of a collage of images of the place. I found that a little disconcerting. I would have liked to have seen, but that's okay. Yeah. I did find some of the camera work to be a little bit choppy, and the editing choppy.
Yeah.
It's not as
polished. If they're new, you got to give me a break.
I don't know how new, and I don't know how much Kelly did before. If she did a bunch of the camera work and stuff, maybe they're just trying to, you know, cope. I mean, it wasn't bad. Yeah. By no means was it bad. It was just not as polished as some of the stuff we use, and that could be partly the equipment they're using. It's hard to say. So they briefly mentioned, Krista mentioned the spirit talker, but they didn't really use it, which is good because I think it's, you know, not always the best source of information. And they used the spirit box, but they didn't last very long. I mean, they didn't really get anything. And then they thought maybe maybe the spirits aren't supposed to, or don't think they're supposed to talk to, don't talk to strangers. So
Yeah.
Dustin gave him permission. He says, you have permission to talk to them. It's okay. You can say whatever you want to say. And then the bearded zombie Wraith says, the second you started talking and giving them permission, I'm covered with goosebumps. And I'm wondering how
Yeah.
much is just kind of
Putting
like
it
how much,
in their minds. Yeah.
yeah, like how much is being kind of put there, and
Yeah.
hard to say. But he has this experience throughout, so maybe this is his body reacting. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
It just seemed
Well,
really odd.
uh,
I've never watched them before,
yeah.
right? So yeah, you kind of wonder if it is the power of suggestion kind of thing. But
Yeah.
after like you watch him a bit longer, maybe not. It's hard to say. I'd have to watch him a few more times to see if that's
Yeah.
his natural body reaction. And I mean, he does really show his hair is standing on end. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
at that point, Krista and Wraith both are going to separate. So she's going into this little closet where there's a psychomantium set up, and he's going to do like a dowsing rod session, a question and answer session. Now, this is a small little house, and the problem being that you could hear each of them from the
Yeah.
other. And I think what they should have done is done one and then done the other,
Yeah.
and not at the same
Yeah.
time, because it was really awkward. And at one point, Wraith actually acknowledges this and stops talking and stuff so that Krista can have quiet where she's at, which I thought was good. But you can definitely hear them when they're both trying to do their things. And it was really interesting with the dowsing rods. I was really watching his hands and his
Yeah.
thumbs to see
Yeah.
if he was causing the dowsing rods to separate,
Yeah.
but his fingers weren't on the same, like his hands weren't on the same spots every time.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. I
Did you?
agree. I was looking at the same thing you were.
I think that was real.
Yeah.
The buttons are further down, and usually they're quite up higher at the top,
Right.
where so I don't think that was fake. I think that might have been real. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But a dozen rods indoors, I don't believe in them because there's too much metal and too
lot
much
of
copper
interference.
and
Yeah, a lot of interference.
yeah.
So I mean, to a certain degree, he could have gotten some correct answers and or gotten some response.
Yeah.
But you're right. How much of it was real?
Yeah.
But yeah, having them both in separate rooms, I think there's too much sound contamination between the two
Yeah.
for sure. So, and then she comes out of the psychomantium. And it was interesting because you could see the camera, and she's obviously having a conversation with somebody, but it's one-sided. We only hear her. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when she comes out, go ahead.
No.
So, was she faking it or not?
Yeah.
That's hard to know. But she comes out, and then and this is where I thought was kind of odd. She doesn't want Krista to repeat certain something on camera. Yeah. Now, if this is an older ghost or whatever, what do they know about a camera?
Yeah.
Especially if this is the first team to ever investigate.
Right.
Really? I don't know. That part I'm finding a bit
Hokey.
odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought it was really quite funny. He's going to be respectful and not mention her name. So he bleeps out the ghost's name, only to mention it a couple of minutes later, not even a few minutes later, as he's, oh, Genevieve is, and then bleeps it again a second later. Missed one to bleep out. So we know that the ghost's name is Genevieve.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Then they decide they're going to do some Estes. And the first Estes is with Krista being the one under and him asking the questions. that one I thought was fairly well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really well done. I think Wraith has a flair for asking questions and giving the right amount of time for the responses and
Right.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
While this is going on, the owner, Dustin, starts acting strange, like he's going to have a panic attack. And Wraith's almost ready to like end the session and bring her out. But it seems that Dustin sort of stabilizes. You gotta, that's the
Yeah.
kind of thing that this is why he doesn't need to be there, because now he's interfering with an investigation. Maybe not meaning
Exactly.
his presence has created a different dynamic. Then they take a small break to have some Tostitos. It's kind of like an intermission, and it's
Yeah.
really quite funny. They're talking about what are they talking about? Oh yeah, just the Tostitos, I guess, and
Yeah.
trying to entice
Talking
people
about,
to like and subscribe, but that was kind of cute. I thought that was funny. You just see a bit of their personality, which is kind of
yeah.
cute. Then I do another Estes with Wraith, the bearded zombie, and when you see him, you know why they call him that. So they're in the garage, which is set up like I don't know, some sort of a hospital or whatever. They've got this old metal stretcher thing that looks like from a morgue, and they're calling it a lobotomy table. It's not really a lobotomy table. It's just a metal thing.
Yeah.
But that was interesting because he starts feeling like his head's being touched and somebody saying this one's not ready, and no, he's not ready to have a lobotomy. So that one was
Yeah.
kind of interesting. That one was kind of interesting. I like that one.
Yeah.
You could tell he was a little bit disturbed by some of the touching and stuff that was going on. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
Then they talk about having either an EVP session or a Ouija board session. They don't have an EVP session. It lasts about like 2 seconds. And instead, they take the Ouija board downstairs to the speakeasy in the basement, which is like the bar. So I
Yeah.
guess what they do is set up, when people come through, they can have a drink in and obviously they are going to pay for the drink. And that's another way for this Wade Manor to get some money. People are having a
Yeah.
drink. So they're in the basement at the bar with the Ouija board set up. Now they cut away to another intermission where they're talking about Zozo. And well, Krista says she did some research because what you're going to see in the Ouija board session is kind of weird, where the person they're talking to keeps saying the word mama, mama, mama. And so she goes and looks it up. And Zozo, another equivalent word or another equivalent name is mama, which I found
Yeah.
interesting because I'm going to have to go check that up now. I mean, not that I
Yes.
don't believe her.
But it's true because Zach Bagans at that one
Uh-huh,
house with that one
uh-huh,
guy, he
uh-huh.
getting Zozo on the thing,
Yeah.
and then his partner came back, and she was saying, "I was talking to Mama," and she entered
Oh,
my parents and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right, right, right. Oh, well, there we go. And we never really
yeah,
made that connection, but they're the same thing. That's
yeah,
interesting. Anyway, so they show the Wheezy board, the Ouija board
mm,
session, and you can see how light their fingers are on the planchette. I mean, they're really not touching it much. So I don't think either of them are pushing it around. I think it's moving on its own. A couple
mm,
of times she does move it, but she tags it. Oh, sorry, that was me. I moved it. So that was good. I really liked the tagging that went on there.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
they discover they're talking to a 56-year-old man named William, and William kept going, "Mama, mama, 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 mama." So they ended the session correctly by saying goodbye, which was good.
yeah.
They did not move the planchette towards the goodbye, though. Like I always, if I have to touch one, that's what I want to do. But
Yeah.
saying goodbye, at least it closed it off properly. So
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah. They go back and they have their little sort of end piece where they talk very briefly about what they went through. I mean, they didn't really have any recap. It was more of a, if you liked this, subscribe. And it was really funny. And like, and he points to the screen and goes, you have not subscribed yet. I thought that was kind of cute. They made me laugh.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the investigation as a whole?
Well, I liked it, as a whole. Yeah. I didn't like the psychomantium room because, the responses, you can't say, I can't say what, she wanted, what she was saying. I know, there's so, she played it up for the camera. I thought.
Yeah.
And
some of it I found was a bit suspect.
Yeah. But, overall, it was a good investigation,
Yeah. As far as the entertainment value,
it's right up there.
I enjoyed it. There was a lot of F-bombs, a lot of language.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But I did enjoy it. Like I said, if people have that snowflake issue going on, don't watch it.
But,
because there's language.
You get language from me when I start talking about Zach Bagans. So,
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about people in general. If they want to watch it and if they're offended by language, it's not the channel for them. Anyway, yeah. It's just something that we're advising our listeners of. If you don't like language, I don't know why you listen to us. If you don't like language, it's not the channel for you. But painting, which is important. Investigation was pretty decent. The camera work was a bit dodgy at times, but like you said, that could be that they're still new. They've lost a team member, so that sort of thing. Would I watch them again? Absolutely. And I would recommend them for a good, interesting team to follow and see how they grow and expand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Any other comments?
No, none.
Okay. Well then, folks, that is our episode for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. And go have a watch. We'll put the link to this group in the information, and go have a watch and tell us what you think. Rafe and Krista, good job. We'll catch you on the other side.
Happy hunting.
Bye. Bye now.
Bye.